Hi, Virgo. All right, welcome to the space and time. Do I disappear if I go all the way back? No. Okay. So, yeah, welcome now. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, well, it's a chilly day today, and so I decided to record inside. So, Virgo, you have 3 cards that came out, and then I just kept shuffling, so I figured you kind of needed to be here, to be present. Let's see. Well, what is this saying first, Virgo, for you? I guess you're waiting on someone to tell you something. Or maybe to, tell you something, or maybe prove to you something. Like it could be an action that you're waiting for, not just a word or a feeling. Waiting on some action. Okay. I see you as feeling good in this time. There are a lot of emotions, but they're in a good space. I like that. I feel a lot of efficiency too, like where things are very simple, even though perhaps there may be a lot of it. Strength and the Ace of Swords. Okay. I heard you can't change the past, but you can make the future. You can't change the past, but you can make the future what you want it to be. So I guess, are you living in the past at all about something? It might be a question to address. Let me see. Virgo. Well, there's also, you do have a fire child here. So I guess remember that whatever's around you is very influenced by you, Virgo. Very influenced by you. Even when you don't say anything, it's like they're paying attention to you. Like, they're paying attention to you, maybe even how you feel. Very observant energy this one is. So I see the way that you deal with problems is the way that this child will deal with problems. Interesting. Very, very positive cards, though. There's a lot of love here. I like that. Good girls in me. You actually have two angels just showed up also, so I feel like remember that you're never alone in a situation. You're never jump. Come on, baby. Jump. Just a second, Virgo. Jump. Come on. Good girl. You're never alone in something. There's always help. Some of you could also be waiting on your father for something. The father. Or at least a male is part of this, like, waiting energy. I see this is a good time to weed out. I heard to weed out your friends. Or maybe just think about different definitions of things. Like, what's this about? I just saw a shark fin. Well, maybe okay, so there's people you talk to regularly, right? And then there are people that maybe you consider your friends that you only talk to sometimes. Maybe you want to catch up with the friends that you haven't been talking to. Maybe take a little bit of time from talking to the ones that you usually talk to. Sort of switch the energy a little bit around. I heard maybe you're working some of you may be working a lot, and this may be why this child's energy is like, hey, like, are you paying attention to me? I heard obviously you have to teach boundaries, right? Like, all children need to learn wait your turn, right? Now, if there is an emergency, that's a completely different situation, but of course that's not the point here. Everything here is peachy keen, you know. So just a second. Well, if you want something new, well, this is interesting because the cards that here show me that you have so much. You really do. You have a lot. Like, there's a lot of really beautiful, wonderful things all around you. So if you have what you have, maybe this is also a time of you thinking about how to ensure this sustains itself, right? I heard regardless of inclement weather. Emotional security is your biggest security, though. Like, more than money, more than family. It's this place inside of you. So remember that and keep that. I heard please high and mighty. Remember, last month we talked about going up the sacred spiral path, right? But right now it's awesome. I mean, you have 10 of Cups, Strength, Ace, 9 of Cups, King of Cups, little Page of Wands. This is a pretty happy family here. This is really, really positive energy. You know what's funny? Is I'm trying, like, well, I guess the Virgo energy is coming through where it's like I'm trying to find the problem even though there really isn't a problem. Hold on, Virgo. You know, the language around something makes all the difference, right? Like, for instance, I think it's an interesting, ding, 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 little side note. I think it's interesting, like, I, as a reader here, for instance, like, smoke cigarettes, right? This is a bad habit. But I think it also goes to show that we all have our own bad habits. And then there's been a couple times where I'm like, I'm going to quit. And I usually do in that time. What is said will be done. But old habits are hard to break, right? And so, and for you, I guess, sometimes you can worry about things even when you don't need to. And then sometimes, well, it depends where Virgo is. You may do the opposite, but the point is you don't, sometimes things are just good, Virgo. And, well, I heard, and what is wrong? But this is where the feeling space comes in, and it's like if you feel this nine, if you feel King of Cups, Nine of Cups, Ten of Cups, strength, like this is really positive. All right, this just ended up being like it moved into this spread that I like to do, so let's read that to finish up this reading. So, inner child, pretty spry, but also patient. I see very creative. You could have a lot of creative ideas right now. Could be thinking about the future, like where that would like to take you. Maybe places of like a different, like where your feet touch a different place. Maybe I heard for some of you, maybe closer to the water. Now, your present self, I feel like you're being there's a lot of emotional maturity here. I feel like you're able, sometimes the King of Cups hides how they feel, but I see it as expressive right now. But the expressive doesn't have to be external. And this goes into that emotional space where it's like, okay, if you're a happy child, if you see a child and that child is happy, you know it from across the field. Do you know what I mean? Like you can just pick up on it because that's what's emanating out, and this is what you're meant to practice in this time. This is a very, it's almost surprising, Virgo, how it's hard to explain. Yeah, it's hard to I heard it's hard to explain how you feel sometimes, huh? Or maybe with Virgo, I'd say specifically Venus in Virgo is when you really, really are emotionally contented, you probably don't say much at all. Especially because you're ruled by a mercurial energy, right? So if you feel something, but you don't know how to say something, then you can also show it through your actions. Maybe some of you want to look up your 5 languages of love. It's very interesting. Do you want to know mine? Hold on a second. Now the cool thing is everybody's is a little bit different. And then, of course, as you change and go along, it's going to alter. But I did mine semi-recently, and this was mine. Acts of service, 37%. Quality time, 30%. Physical touch, 17%. Receiving gifts, 13%. Words of affirmation, 3%. Now, this goes to show the way I looked at it was like, okay, this is 67% is up at the top here. This is over half. And this has to do with acts of service and quality time. I would say you're probably similar to that to a certain extent. Of course, again, we're all a little bit different, but you got to know what you want, and you got to know how you want it, and also know that whoever you're involving yourself with, however that plays out, functions in a little bit different of a way. Right? For instance, words of affirmation, 3%. You know, some people like a lot of compliments. I don't. Anytime I get a compliment, I make an excuse for it. You know, like, so maybe there's something that you're learning about this, right? Where it's not about what people say, it's about what people do. This is important. This is very important. Huh. All right, Virgo. All right, your future self says, don't fret, my pet. Like, you're going to be really happy in the future. Even if you're like kind of in your feelings, you're like, okay, I feel good, I feel solid, but there's still something where you're like looking into the past a little bit. I think this is where the adult thinks that the child is afraid, but it's actually the adult that's a little bit afraid. I was actually just talking about this on the Capricorn new moon reading, but either way, it's similar energy, Virgo. So the point is that in the future you're really happy, but you have to continue to reinforce some positive feeling about what that's going to be when you get there, but not being dissatisfied with whatever it is now. And at least for this time frame, because this is more water, a lot of the doing has to do with how you process, like what's going on in your feeling space. I heard because that will be indicative to what people do, right? Say you're sleeping a lot, you may not be that happy, right? Or there's something that's lacking, but I don't see that. I'm just giving an example of when we are without something, it'll show us, well, what is really needed, right? I don't feel like you for your challenge card, it's not, you have the least, probably one of the least challenging cards you could have. There could be, I guess, a little bit of something with family, but honestly, this goes back into how you feel, Virgo. I don't know how many times we said that word with you. That's a big one. Not just analyzing your feelings, feeling them, right? It's a different thing. Not that you're not lovey-dovey, because you can be. But Virgo can also be, I don't know, you crack me up. You can be an enigma sometimes. Yeah, a little bit. You can be, you're an interesting energy. I feel like because you're fast, I guess, you're mercurial. So, strength right now is strength. Awesome. I see this as something that you can do. Sometimes I see it the opposite right now. I see that your strength right now is that you have the capacity to do something. And to do something very gently, actually. I guess some of you could also be wondering, like say you do have children, or just like a mother, father, husband, wife sort of dynamic. There's something here where partnership dynamic, it's where how, again, people deal with things differently. And, and it's not about who's in whatever role. It's about who feels what in whatever they're trying to connect with, right? Some people, there's crying baby and somebody just picks it up and all of a sudden it just stops crying, right? Some people, if you're anxious about the baby crying and you pick up the baby, then it's just going to keep crying and screaming, and then you get frustrated. That doesn't fix anything. It's this centering, because you have such a peace inside of you, Virgo. You really, really do. It's so soft, and it really is such a pure place. And it's because you know about atonement. You know about karma, you know, and have had to know how to be you. And I know a lot of you have taken time by yourselves. You have to, right? Virgo has to. You're the monk. And so I guess remember, if there is a little bit of, if the feelings become too big for some reason and you don't know how to handle it, then make sure you're taking time and space for yourself during this month, during this time frame, right? Go hang out with the friends. Go have a glass of wine. Maybe you, if you're involved too, have a partnership. This could just be a homeboy or homegirl of yours, but like, go meet up and like have a drink. Go out to dinner, or invite them over to the house. Just have a little, it doesn't have to be something expensive. It's just like, just spend some quality time outside of the space, so that when you go back into whatever this world is, you feel really confident about it. Okay? Interesting. Good, Virgo. I want to see what this King of Cups is thinking about. Just a minute. Ooh, fast. The Empress. So there is a mother-father-child dynamic. There's There's a family dynamic here. So well, if you're a father, know that you brought those children into this life for a reason. If you were a mother, you know, I heard it's difficult to be a mother. It changes the dynamics of things, whatever that means, right? Like, I guess your inner child and your present self are also telling you to wait until spring, right? We're in Saturn time. We talked about this last month, right? Spring is a nice time for things to spring ahead. You are in charge of yourself. Okay, where you go, how you feel, remember that. No one else controls that, you do. And I see that you have the capacity to really keep that in a high and mighty, beautiful place, right? I feel like it's a sunny, warm day, you going up this mountain. I mean, sure, sometimes I heard there's inclement weather, but it's not a big deal. It's so positive here. Six of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, Chariot, Queen of Cups, Sun card, the Hierophant, like Wheel of Fortune. This is so, there's something really, really special here. Oh, do you remember that reading? Hold on, what was it? I was like, you were so motivated. You were going to go get it. Like you were, do you remember? When was that? What was it called? Let me make a note. Because it's almost like when things are so, this is almost like too good to be true. And maybe that's why, even though it's so positive, again, I'm trying to find the thing that doesn't work about it. Now, of course, use your logic, right? But, and know that you're safe and loved and protected in your choices. But that empowered, I don't even know what to call it. Go get it. Because is perfect when too good to be true is actually true? Is that perfect? I love you, Virgo. Thank you for being here. Thank you for these trippy spiritual lessons, these life lessons. If there is anything that you don't like about your kids, remember that that is you. If there is anything that you don't like about your mother or your father, that is also kind of you, or at very least it is teaching you something that you need to do. That's right. That's right. Wow. All right, Virgo. Well, that's that, my dears. Thank you for being here. I do appreciate you so very much. Such a blessing to connect with Virgo energy. I really enjoy the feeling of it. And you are so funny to me. Just thinking about you puts a smile on my face, so thanks. You make a big difference in the world, Virgo. You being here, any of you who donate to this channel, even just your time, it makes a big difference. Any of you also who have decided to go grow yourself a little plant in the community garden of Patreon, thank you so very much. And I guess I want to mention, if you are over there, I find there's a lot of information over there, so please remember to take your time when going into new spaces. Right, the thing will come to you when it's ready. I see that you do have to take steps to ensure that one foot is in front of the other. right as you're going up this or on this sacral spiral path. And really think about what you want to grow. Okay, like I heard what you want to grow from Pisces season to Virgo season. So that's your opposite to your season. What do you want to grow between then? Because if you really put some energy into it over up until March, like really put some good energy in there, realize what you can do. I heard put away that ego that tells you that it's like not the right time or this and that. You know, you're pretty risk adverse, so you're not going to put yourself in like too risky of a situation anyway. I mean, some of you rebel and Virgo can do like 180, but I feel like most of you here are pretty mature. So just remember that you have a great capacity to work through whatever you're working through, and you are safe and loved and protected. And I heard so is your family. And so please remember that, okay? And I'd say wherever Taurus is for you, if you like astrology, with Uranus going direct this month, I feel like that would be a nice place for you to put some energy, right? Like realize that house, that place is going to start moving forward. If you have questions about that, if you let me know what your ascendant is, I guess I can comment back and tell you where that would be for you. Okay. Love you so much, Virgo. Thank you for being here. Thank you for helping this space grow. Such a blessing. Take care. See you later, Virgo. Peace.